Okay, we're rolling.
Bitch, we're back.
Hi guys, welcome to our next episode, the next episode of Beyond the Credits. Today we're going to be talking about the golden era of film. We're going to be discussing some of our favourite classics, why it's known as the golden era of film. And yeah, it's just going to be a nice little, we thought it'd be a cool deep dive.
Yeah, like why is it the golden era of film? Why do they... I have my own thoughts. I think that when you think of the context of film, it goes back to what Christopher Nolan said in his Oscar speech for Oppenheimer when he won Best Director. He said, you know, film, when you think about it, it's really only in its inception. See what I did there? He said that, you know, film's only 100 years old. There's so many new things we can learn about it and explore, and, you know, we can really play around with this medium in such an interesting way because it is such a newfound medium of expression and storytelling. And I think with the golden era, I think when you look at the 40s, the 50s, you know, anything kind of between the sort of the 30s and the 60s, it's all very much coming off the back of the silent era films, and it kind of seems as if sound was discovered, and it kind of, people were just getting as much as what they could out of cinema and what they could do with it and how they could experiment with it, and, you know, making things grandiose, whether it be in scale, visual scale, emotional scale, and kind of going to the nth degree in terms of like emotionality and, you know, scope. And I think people were just leaning into it in a really indulgent sort of like fantastic fashion, and that's people were never, it was a new thing really at that time, and people were going to the cinemas in their droves, and it was just all around. If you look at any film that was made in that era, it was simply just, there was a subliminal sort of essence to it, and I think people were just kind of craving this newfound medium of storytelling, and it kind of, I think that's how I look at it.
But I think during that era there was a lack of things for people to do socially, and I think the movies was the big thing. It was like a weekly social event, wasn't it, for people to go to the movies. And I think there were major studios at the time like Metro Goldwyn Mayer. Obviously you had Warner Brothers, and there was only like a certain few actors that were kind of had like made it. Obviously in this day and age, like there's an abundance of actors, there's an abundance of like streaming services, content's being churned out left, right and centre, whereas back then wasn't churned out as much. Obviously the golden era produced icons like Humphrey Bogart and Marilyn Monroe, and they kind of became like the global symbols of glamour and style because of films. It was just such an event, wasn't it? Like back in the day, we did in A-level history, we did America. And it touched on like entertainment. I swear one of our essay questions,
20th century America.
Was about the impact of entertainment during that time. I swear it was. Cinema was just very dominant within the entertainment medium, wasn't it, at the time? Especially in America. In comparison to then and now, you've kind of got, like, then the actors were under very, like, strict contracts, whereas now everyone's kind of, like, gets a bit of creative freedom. I mean, more often than they did.
Well, there's a few films that I've got, and I imagine probably a lot of them, where there was so many, like, stories about, like, behind the scenes and what went on and the trials and tribulations they faced in terms of certain cast members faced in terms of their time.
No, literally, I think it was very, like, films back then, if you actually look at it from the wider picture, they were quite restricted. They were kind of, there was a lot of restrictions in terms of
even
what they
could... kissing laws, they were jokes.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas now, I mean, there's very few content restrictions. So there's a lot more, like, explicit themes and realism within films, whereas back then it was kind of more like people... Back then, cinema was more of an escape. Cinemas is still an escape now, but in terms of, like, going to, like, a fantasy world, it was a lot more poignant. Back during the golden era.
That's so true. And then you've got, you know, like you say, there's less of them being made, so the ones that are coming out are, like, probably the only ones that are on at the picture house. So you're going to go and there's going to be lines of people, like, you know, they'll probably last up until maybe even the 80s, I would imagine. Then it kind of, you know, that obviously not being the golden era of film, 70s and 80s, but that did definitely, you know, it transgressed into then, you know, people there being less films made, and you kind of latch onto them because they're kind of the only thing that are on there. Yeah,
and I think in terms of like the classics, though, as we've spoken about, there were so few films that were being made and churned out. So the ones that did, you know, get produced, they have gone down as classics, whereas now there's probably classics being produced, but they slip under the radar just because there's such an abundance of content.
Oh yeah,
like
and the real it's probably harder to become a classic now in this day and age because there's that many things being made. It's got to be especially impeccable. Like, we do wonder. It's another thing we could touch on, what films that are made now that you think are classics about when. But we're going to touch on some of our favourite classics. We don't really know each other's. We just got a few.
We might have a couple that are the same.
Yeah, I imagine so.
I have a lot of Billy Wilder on my list.
I've got a bit of Billy Wilder.
So first from Billy Wilder is The Apartment. This won Best Picture, and you've never seen The Apartment, have you?
No, I'm going to watch it tonight though because
you do.
It does seem like a little bit of me.
It's a film that kind of sneaks up on you. Like, it feels like quite a light romantic comedy at first, but actually it's quite a sharp look at loneliness and kind of corporate ambition within the film. I'd be interested to see what you thought. I think, what you think. It's very funny without kind of being like too forceful. Like, it's quite naturally funny.
Is it 50s?
And no idea. And it's quite tender, but it's not kind of like trying to be very sentimental in that way. Like, it's just quite like subtly tender. I think Shirley MacLaine, the elevator scene, the lift scene on New Year's Eve in it's so that pulls at your heartstrings. But again, not very melodramatic at the same time. It's just it's quite heart-wrenching, that scene. So I'm excited to see what you think of that one.
Watch it.
Yeah, I do really like The Apartment, and I just think Billy Wilder is one of the greats.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
Honey P. My first pick is Roman Holiday.
Yeah,
I adore that film. It's the most kind of youthful and kind of effervescent version of Audrey Hepburn I think we see on screen. I just love her in that. Her and Gregory Peck are so well matched, and I don't think on paper I wouldn't put them together in that dynamic, but I love the way in which their dynamic develops. That scene at the end when she's doing like a press conference or something, and she's back to like the palace and stuff, and she catches his eye, and it's like not a word is really said between them, and it's just like, oh my god, their performances and that's so brilliant. She's so funny in it. I love their dynamic. I just love everything about it, and it could easily have been quite fantastical and quite immature in a way, like the whole princess getting out of the palace sort of vibe, and it wasn't. It is a film that I think anyone can watch at any age. You can be a little girl, you can be 90-yard man, woman, anyone, and I just think you can't not see the beauty and heart of that film. I love it so much. I haven't watched it since I was like 16, and I just really want to rewatch it again. I think I haven't watched it in a while. Maybe it's like an end of August.
Yes, going into end of summer film. It's like the Florida Project. The Florida Project's bits like that in terms of like the end of summer film.
I love that film. Two very different films.
I know, two very different films, but in terms of
Sean
seasonal.
Baker. No, I love that film. It's one of my favourite Audrey Hepburn films. I just love how bright and vibrant she is, and she's so authentic in that role. I just think she's great. I'd give anything to see that on a big screen. I would. Could you imagine, like, oh my god, could you imagine just like being sat like on a date, like outside and beanbags.
That is a first date.
Oh, watching, literally.
Wow.
People say you shouldn't go to the cinema on a date.
I think that's a great first date. I think food and then cinema, or cinema then food.
I think food then cinema because you can talk a bit. Or like, I think I probably would do like second and third date. But like, I think, oh my god, how beautiful would that be? Yeah. Just sat like on an August evening watching like the sun's going down and you're watching Roman Holiday cinema. And hopefully they're not a red flag and it's all perfect.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. My next one is Some Like It Hot, again directed by Billy Wilder. Oh, I love this film. I literally rewatched it only recently. I mean, I Want to Be Loved by You. Tune.
Yeah, literally.
That is a tune. The pacing of it, the jokes, the performances, it all just feels to me very effortless.
Did she get a Golden Globe for that? I swear she did.
Maybe.
Because I watched a documentary on her, and apparently her acting coach was like, hell, she wanted to be a better actress.
Yeah.
And that was the first film where she was like, she got it, and she was like, I need to be amazing in this. And she literally, like, I mean, she knocks out the park.
Yeah, I think for its time, in the grand scheme of things, it was so bold.
Yeah.
Like, the gender bending premise still feels quite like fresh. Like, do you know what I mean? It still feels it still relates in the modern day, and the ending is perfect. That iconic last line, nobody's perfect. That one. Oh, the whole aesthetic of that film, like, yeah, the pace, as I say, the pacing of it, it's just, I think that to me is like a pretty perfect film, and just the whole vibe of it. I think the two leads are just, the casting of that film is so good. But yeah, love that one. Love that
showed
one.
me that one when I was like 10.
Yeah, such a good film.
My next one, I don't know which one to talk about. I'm going to go Sabrina. Have you seen Sabrina?
Never seen Sabrina.
Sabrina is...
You love Sabrina.
It's so, like, beautiful and romantic, and it's Humphrey Bogart and it's William Holden and Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn plays the daughter of their chauffeur, like two of the richest brothers in America they play, and Audrey Hepburn is the daughter of the chauffeur. She goes off to Paris and comes back all like a glam, demure woman, and they start fighting over her, and it's just so pretty. And the dresses, I mean, the fashion in that film.
Yeah.
I've
seen
scene
stills of that.
when she's walking into the tennis court. Oh my God, in that white dress. She looks beautiful in it. I love that film so much. I think the dynamic between the three of them is just so cool. Very different to Sabrina in the sense that she's a bit more demure, mature. She's just the most elegant being alive. I love it. I love that visually. That is gorgeous. It's very like indulgent, sort of like hyper Americana, like rich, like East Coast vibes. And I do love it. It's very sort of, when you think of classic films, I think aesthetically, I think of Sabrina because I just think of where it's set, who's in it. I mean, Humphrey Bogart is so good in that film. So good. But yeah, I'm going to need to watch Sabrina. Love it.
My next one is 12 Angry Men. Is this on your
That
list?
was on my list.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. Sorry.
So good. I mean, the fact that this was Sidney Lumet's directorial feature.
Mate.
Sorry.
1997 one, it was 1997, but yeah, the 90s one don't even compare.
No. This film never fails to kind of amaze me how gripping it is. The fact that this film hardly leaves one room and it still keeps you wanting to watch, it does keep you gripped, and I just think it's purely from the characters and the dialogue, and I just think that is such an art to kind of get that down and to kind of get the premise of that film. Like nowadays I'd just be like, yeah, you'd kind of need, if that was to work nowadays within this saturated market, it's kind of, you'd have to get name after name after name after name for people to kind of in my eyes anyway, but I just think it's, and the slow reveal of everyone's biases and the fact that it just turns from, like, it turns the simple kind of jury debate into something much bigger, and like the overarching message of it, kind of, you walk away and think, and again, that's quite timeless. It's a timeless film, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
No matter when or where or what point of your life you watch it, like you relate to it.
Mm-hmm. And then so many of the characters have so many different interpretations of what could and could not have happened in that boy's life, and it's a real sort of exercise or an example of the power and the importance of true, genuine empathy. And like you said, the way in which it reveals people's biases, the fact that you don't expect such biases even going into it, and you don't know where it's going in general, but the fact that you don't expect the extent of their biases going into it makes the reveal at the end and so much more satisfying. The tension in that room is palpable. You feel like you're in there, or you feel like you're invading on their space. It is so, honestly, the fact that it keeps you, like what you said, it keeps you gripped for however long. I imagine obviously it would have been a breath of fresh air for cinema then anyway. Really playing around with the format, I think, especially that time, you've got, having a film set with 12 men in one room, that opposed to, all the big soundstage spectacles would have just been such a contrast. And it really will have been, I imagine, one of the first sort of explorations of the different sort of formats and the different ways in which cinema can, tell certain stories. It doesn't have to be one big old spectacle. It really redefined a different sort of genre, but a different format and visual way of telling stories. I wonder if it was a play, because it does give play energy.
It does give play energy.
I'm gonna Google it,
because I think like it's almost like the room is the stage, isn't it?
Oh, it's a teleplay.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And then it got adapted into a feature. This is an Italian film, and it's called Nights of Cabiria. I think it's Cabiria. It's the sea. Never seen it.
Oh, it's so good. So the guy who made it made 8.5, which I've not seen. That people usually compare 8.5 to like Citizen Kane, which I very nearly put on here actually. And you could argue that's very much one to know. But yeah, Federico Fellini, I believe his name is, and he made La Dolce Vita, 8.5, and this film. This is what I was talking about in terms of Sean Baker, because this was a big inspiration for Honora.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know that. I didn't connect the dots until I saw an interview with Mikey Madison talking about how he'd screened that for her.
Right.
But the last scene is, it basically, the plot of it before I talk about it, is basically just a prostitute in Rome looking for love. Doing the rounds, you know, being a bit of a not lady of the night as such, well she is, but like literally a lady of the night. She is like perusing around Rome, just looking for a man. And it's about love and loss and betrayal, and this woman is such a vibrant sort of goofball, but like so inherently just full of life, and she's craving to want to like explore and delve into a really honest, genuine love and feel it and receive it. And it's heartbreaking the way in which it all plays out. Like it's not, you know, particularly plot heavy, but you are just following her over the course of a night as she just endures what she endures. And it is so heartbreaking, but it's a great performance in it. It's really, really sad. But it does, when you watch Honora, that last scene in Honora where she's in the car and she cries, very like thematically and sort of tonally, very similar parallels to Nights of Cabiria. I love this film. I love it so much. I emotionally, it really, really hits. Really hits. Like I felt it, and it's not big in terms of scale at all. Like it is literally all like set on location. Like so, like not a love letter to Rome by any means, but the city does look beautiful in it. And this woman's story is just heartbreaking. Like you gotta watch it. It's fucking great.
My next one is Rear Window.
I've never seen it.
Rear Window. Oh,
no.
Directed by Alfred Hitchcock. It's kind of one of those films. I rewatched it not long ago on a plane, and you kind of spine along with the main character, and it kind of makes you slightly uncomfortable, but in a good way when you're watching it, because you're kind of like, should I be here, should I not? It's very suspenseful, but also it's a kind of clever commentary on why we like love film in the first place. Like I think you should watch it, so I won't spoil.
I know, I'm trying to, because
Grace Kelly's entrance scene, iconic.
Is that the one with the white dress?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, I think, yeah, because I've seen that, everyone's seen that video, that clip. Yeah, no, I'll have to watch it.
It is so iconic, but yeah, I just think that is one of the classics, and even the title card, you're just like, oh yes, golden era. Honestly, it's so good. But yeah, very suspenseful, and yeah, it's the cast of that as well. Fab, some great performances.
See, me and Ella haven't seen some of these, or we have obviously 12 Angry Men we've both seen, but
yeah,
it's like I don't want to spoil it too much.
No, we don't. I don't, because you should watch it for yourself.
I do wonder if you've seen this next one, Bicycle Thieves. Have you seen it? Fuck me, Ella.
I've never even heard of that.
Oh my god, I can't remember the guy who made it. I can't remember his name. But oh my god, I watched it on the train on the way home from London. It's not a particularly long film. I think it's about an hour and a half. It literally is about a man, I think it's post World War II or during World War II. A man living in destitution, poverty, trying to support his family, and his job. For his job, I think I can't remember what his job even is, but he requires a bike to get about, and his bike gets stolen, and the film is just him trying to find his bike.
Oh,
and his son is with him the whole time. His son's just like following him. Oh my god, that one of the most heart-wrenching scenes. Not because anything like sort of inherently like sort of earth-shatteringly devastating happens in the grand scheme of things like in the world. Like it's not Schindler's List territory. However, it is. You feel every ounce of emotion for this father and son, the public humiliation that he receives, just like the deep sort of hopelessness that you can see on the guy's face. The kids, we've touched on this in terms of child actors that recently and how amazing they are. His kid must be about 5-6 years old. I've never seen a kid weep like that on film. The last scene is worth it alone. Some might, because there were points throughout it where some might argue that what's going on, like, you know, it is literally just them trying to find a bike, but oh my god, emotionally, that is a sucker punch to your heart, and you'll cry, because we've talked about this, like you not crying evidently devastating films, but you cry at like more wholesome sort of like quietly devastating stuff, and that is very much a quiet devastation that they both feel at the end. Very powerful. I really watched this film. It's so good. It's so good.
My last one
Okay.
is Casablanca.
Oh, I didn't put that one down because I knew you were going to put it.
Yeah, it's more obvious. Well, I feel like mine have been quite obvious. Yours have been obscure. But
No, but like the classics for a reason.
the classics
I've got a few on here that are like staples.
Yeah. I know I also have Sunset Boulevard on this list, but I feel like
I've
that's
never
kind of
seen
a given. Oh, you need to watch it. That's another Billy Wilder one. Gloria Swanson in that eats up. But yeah, Casablanca, directed by Michael Curtiz, and I think this is probably one of the realist films I've seen in terms of never tries too hard.
Mm-hmm.
The romance is kind of like quite a real romance.
Yeah, it's quite like quiet and sedate.
Yeah,
but really
like
real.
It's quite grounded in that sense. Like the chemistry feels very real, and yeah, I just think there's a lot of weight to the film, and by the end it feels kind of less like a love story and more like a story about doing the right thing, even though it might like hurt you to do that. But
I love premises like that.
Yeah.
It's like break your heart to heal your soul.
exactly,
Yeah.
literally. But I just think it is very real film, and I just think if you haven't seen it, that's probably one that, like, it's almost like, have you seen Casablanca? That's a classic.
Yeah, I love that film.
It's
I've not watched that film in like years. I'd love to rewatch it again. I'm not really a big rewatcher for films.
No, well, when I was on the plane back from Australia, I kind of was like, there was like a whole section being like classic films, and I was like, right,
Film.
let me go
That's
on
a long
this.
flight,
And
girl.
I watched Rear Window, 12 Angry Men, Casablanca, The Apartment.
Such a slay.
Yeah.
I love that for you. I've got a few on here, but some of them are like pretty evident, like Wizard of Oz, Sound of Music.
Yeah.
I put Psycho down.
Yeah,
Scary.
that's classic. Exactly.
But I think I'm going to choose my favourite out of the ones. I mean, It's a Wonderful Life, obviously. One of my faves, Letterboxd top 4. If you know, you know. But I'm going to pick Gone with the Wind. It is very much of its time.
Yes.
Let's just say that. But you cannot escape the fact that that is an entertainer. It's long as hell. The intermission, that was the first time I'd ever seen an intermission in a film.
Yeah.
I was like, that's why when I was watching The Brutalist, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a spectacle because there's an intermission. I'm like, love it. But it's a lengthy watch. Oh, Vivien Leigh is so good in that film. I hate that character with a passion, but my God. Like,
I need to rewatch that.
It's such an interesting dynamic between her and Clark Gable's character because they're both arseholes,
Yeah.
but you're rooting for them in a way, and like so much kind of hardship and tragedy ensues. The context of the Civil War, unrequited love of Ashley. There's just so much that goes on.
Oh my God, yeah, if you forget about Ashley.
Ashley, poor Ashley. There's so much that goes on. It's a it's a classic for a reason. It's a spectacle of a film. Made in 1930, came out in 1939, probably would have been filmed the year prior. That is a feat in filmmaking. Obviously it's all soundstage, and it does have that kind of incredibly sort of golden era vintage soundstage spectacle aesthetic to it, because obviously it's filmed on a soundstage. But I mean, just everything, the cinematography, that scene before the intermission of her, you know, hell bent on getting back home.
Yeah.
It's great. It is great. It is very much of its time. I think if you cropped out, you took out a lot of the racial elements to it, it would have probably, it's still land today in such an effective way. But I taking out certain elements of it and just looking at, the elements that I mentioned that I really enjoy, I do love that film. I do. It's a spectacle to behold.
Yeah,
it really
is. We hope you enjoyed this little deep dive on the golden era of cinema. Let us know some of yours down below.
Yeah, because I'm always up for a good new old film to watch. Like, the old films that you haven't watched, and you're like, do comment, do send some suggestions. And if you haven't watched some of ours, get watching them. Bicycle Thieves and Nights of Liberia. Stunning.
Yeah.
What would you like out of yours, or yours, what would you say you've got to watch?
Some Like It Hot, I'd say defo.
Yeah.
And also 12 Angry Men. You can't go wrong. You need to watch that if you haven't seen that. And The Apartment. The Apartment's good.
I'm watching that tonight. That's on my list.
Yeah. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you for the next one. Bye.